Welcome to another episode of Mexican in the Kitchen. I recently bought a pressure pot and I'm gonna test it by cooking this beautiful beef tongue I found. If you don't have one of these pots, you can do it on a normal pot on the stove. The only thing that's gonna change is how long you have to cook it. I love cooking tongue because it has a beautiful taste. It's basically just meat, and at least here in Finland it's quite cheap. I guess not many people use it because it's not so common. I'm going to add 1 onion cut in half, 4 to 6 garlic cloves. At this point we want to give some flavor, so I'm going to add some salvia, some thyme. You can use any other herbs you like. We also have to add some salt, and this is up to you, but I recommend not to be too scared of it. We can still rectify later. Now all we have to do is cover our meat with water. I am using a pressure pot, so I'm just covering the meat and that will be enough. If you are cooking it on the stove, I recommend you use a larger pot. You put a lot of water there because a lot of it will evaporate, and I recommend that you check it maybe every half an hour just to make sure the water is still covering our meat. At this point, I'm going to close the lid and I'm setting my pot to 45 minutes. This time, I'm not going to chop all the meat, so I want a bit of texture, that's why I use 45 minutes. On the other hand, some people don't like this texture and they prefer the really soft, really tender meat. In that case, I would recommend go for something closer to 1 hour. If you are doing this recipe on the stove, I would recommend you to keep it for about 3-3.5 hours on medium to medium-high fire. And after that, just check it every 15 minutes. Make sure you leave it there until it has the texture you want. After my tongue has been cooked, I'm going to open my pot. I'm going to check that the texture is really what I want. Checking this is quite easy. I usually just poke the meat with my knife, and it should be quite simple. The knife should go in quite easily. You don't have to struggle. Then we know it's ready. We still need to peel the tongue, so I'm just going to leave it here because it's quite hot. I'm just going to wait for it to cool down, and in the meanwhile I'll continue doing the sauce. I'm using 1 kilo of tomato, about 300 grams of onion, 3 onions, about 20 grams of garlic, which is maybe 6 big garlic cloves. For the sauce, we need the usual ingredients: tomato, onion, garlic, and some chilies. In this case, I'm going to use Guajillo chili. I think it goes perfect with this recipe. In case you cannot find Guajillo, you can try maybe some ancho. You can use some California chili, maybe some chipotle. You can use any chili you like. I think this goes quite nicely, but the recipe also allows you to use many variations. This recipe calls for about 3 chilies, so I want to show you how to use this. As you can hear, it has a lot of seeds, so I'm going to start by taking the stem off, and you can just press your chili and a lot of the seeds will come out. You can also cut it in half and take the inside veins out of it. Here you can tell the veins have a lot of the seeds. These chilies are not usually the most spicy ones. They're quite mild. They're used mostly for giving some flavor, but I still think it's good to remove them because it will also make it easier when we blend everything together. I don't have much space left on my skillet, so I'm going to do half of the chilies, then I'll do the other half. Luckily, these are going to be quite quick. Our main goal is to char the tomatoes, char the onions, the garlic, but the chilies we don't want to burn, otherwise they might become a bit bitter. All we want to do is just toast them a bit. Here you just have to keep moving things around, just keep an eye on everything. This chili starts to burn and I don't have really much space, so I'm going to take it out and do the other side later. As you can see, this one has starting to get charred. I don't want it to go completely dark, I don't want it to be bitter. So let's turn it, and you can see the tomatoes are getting there. Those are probably the ones that will take the longest. Garlics are a bit quicker, onions will be a bit quicker. This is also up to personal preference. Some people might not put them on fire at all. Some people might completely char the whole thing. This is a personal taste. If you think everything starts to burn or look a bit burned, don't worry about it. As long as you don't burn the chilies too much, then everything else will be fine. the skin from the tomatoes will start to burn. It will also start to kind of fall apart. Don't worry about it, that's perfectly normal. This will give us some nice flavor to our sauce. Once my chilies are ready, I'm going to put them on a bowl. I will do the same with all my ingredients, but I'm going to reserve a different bowl for the chilies and then for the rest of the things. This is because with our chilies we still have to hydrate them. They are quite dry, and toasting them is going to make them a bit crispy and it will bring a lot of the flavor out, but we still need to put them in some hot water. I have some boiling hot water. I warm it on my kettle quite quickly. I'm just going to cover the chilies with that water. I'm gonna leave these for about 20 to 25 minutes. It doesn't matter if you leave them a bit longer, but I want to have them here. You have plenty of time because the tomatoes and the onions are still waiting. Garlics and onions are ready. Some people might leave these for way longer, but of course this is a personal preference. It doesn't matter if you let them char a bit longer. I prefer to take them out at this point. You will notice tomatoes start to fall apart. They are getting a bit hard to grab because they are so soft. The skin is getting completely charred. It's falling apart. This is exactly what we want. I guess at this point we can start taking them. Now I cleaned my skillet. You can use a different pan, but I'm warming up some peanuts. I use these salted peanuts. You can also use the normal ones without anything, but what I want to do is to toast them a bit. I'm using around 250 grams of peanuts. I'm doing this in medium fire. I don't want to do it too quick because it's the same as with the chilies. If we burn these, they will also become a bit bitter. So we just want to toast them, but we don't want to burn them. After a while, I don't know if you can notice, but some of the peanuts start getting this golden brownish color. That's exactly what we want. And at this point we can take them out and set them apart. For the sauce, I'm going to start by adding the tomatoes. We add the tomatoes because they have a lot of water, so we want our blender to have some water that will make the blending way easier. If you have a really nice blender, it might not matter what you put first, but at least with mine, you really have to take care of those details. On top of the tomatoes, I'm adding my garlic and onions, and then I'm going to start blending everything. We want our sauce to be quite smooth, so set it on a high power and just wait for it to blend nicely. I usually give it a minute or two because I want everything to be blended and I don't want to find pieces of the tomato or the garlics. Just give it some time, make it a quite nice smooth sauce. Now I'm adding my chilies. If you have a nice blender, you can probably add everything since the beginning, but I prefer to do my sauce first and then add the chilies and blend it again. Don't throw the chili water away, because if our sauce is too thick later, we can use some of that water. Then we will blend everything again. As I said, I'll give it 1 or 2 minutes. I want this sauce to be really nicely made. These chilies are a bit harder to blend. Usually you will find a bit of these smaller pieces, so just let it be. You will notice how those pieces start turning smaller and smaller. This step is optional, but I would recommend you to do it, because we're going to strain our sauce. And this might sound a bit weird sometimes, but as I said, these chilies are a bit harder to blend, and if we leave them there, we might find a piece of these chilies and it might be a bit bitter. So what we want to do is strain it, and we want to make our sauce quite smooth. For this, you will use the normal straining method. Take a spoon, just move it around, play with it. Make sure everything starts coming slowly. Don't try to press it too much, don't try to hurry it. Just play with it a bit. You will notice how it starts going, and at the end we want to see a paste. After a while, we should only have this kind of paste. It's all the leftovers from our sauce. It's basically chili, some pieces of tomato, and all these kind of things that will make our sauce not so smooth. These we can throw away, and then our sauce should be quite smooth. Now I have my sauce back into my blender. I'm adding my peanuts. I'm going to close the lid and just start mixing everything. I want everything to blend nicely, so you might notice that in some blenders this might take a while. it might start having some difficulties. If that happens, then you need to stop the blending, use a spoon to stir everything, make sure everything mixed correctly, and then go at it again. You might need to do this procedure a couple times. You can notice here how the color is quite different, it hasn't mixed nicely. It became a bit too thick in the bottom, so we can just mix it a bit, have another go, and just continue until your sauce is a smooth but chunky sauce. Now I have a pan, medium to medium high fire. I add a bit of canola oil and I'm going to throw my sauce in here. When adding the sauce you have to be careful because it might very quickly start jumping all over. Just keep mixing. We want to cook this for maybe 5 to 10 minutes and we want to taste this because this is a time where we can adjust if we think we're missing some salt. My tongue is not so hot anymore, so we want to peel it first. You might notice it has a very thick outside skin. I usually make a cut like this. I try not to go into the meat, just cut the skin a bit. You don't need to do that. You can just peel it from the back and start from there. The skin should go quite easily if it's cooked nicely. We want to remove all this white skin. Once we have peeled our tongue, we can slice it. I like slicing it like this because it makes it quite easy to serve. This is a really nice tongue. It's from Highland Cattle. I found this really nice place in Pincio called Honkaniemen tila. If you're around there in Finland, you should definitely check them out. They have quite nice quality meat. I'll leave the link in the description. And once I finish peeling the tongue, I will just slice everything. Once I finish slicing my tongue, it should look something like this. As I said, this has quite nice texture, but if you are not a fan, you should cook it way more, and then you can maybe just chop everything into smaller pieces. Now, if you are thinking the tongue doesn't look that good, I definitely agree with you. So I have a hot pan with some canola oil. I have it on a medium high fire. It's already hot, and I'm going to put my slices of tongue in there. This is going to be quite quick. You will notice they get really nice color really fast. I don't want them to become too rubbery, so you don't want to overcook them. Just have them there for a few seconds and then turn them around. And after they get some nice color, then they will be ready to be served. How I served it is on top of the sauce. You can notice how much of a texture the peanuts give it. It's really nice. You can have it just like this. You can have it with some tortillas on the side. You can serve it with some white or red rice. This is a really nice dish. It looks very beautiful and it tastes delicious. This is how I make this encacahuatado. It's a really nice dish. I remember my brother was here a couple Christmases ago and he made this dish. It's really beautiful. It's really nice that you can find most of the ingredients quite easily. The Guajillo chili sometimes you can find maybe as a chili flakes, sometimes you can find it as powder, sometimes the whole chili. You can play with it. You can also use different kind of chilies. You can maybe use ancho, you can use chipotle, you can use all these kind of things. Play a bit with the recipe. I really like it. I understand that sometimes beef tongue is a bit intimidating for some people. They are not sure if they want to try it. In Mexico, it's a bit of a delicacy. It's not something you eat every day. Here, it's really cheap because not many people use it. So I think that's a great opportunity because it's just meat. The flavor is quite nice. It's quite tender if you cook it right. So it's a great alternative. If you haven't tried it, try it. I recommend it 100%. You won't regret it. And I hope you liked the video. Press like, subscribe, share it with your friends, activate the bell, all those kind of things. And see you in the next one.